Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. I am your host, Bryan Burns, and joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Molly Barbieri.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We're in our normal location today, so happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. We had our first on-location episode last time at the Florida State Fair, where we got to eat some of the wonderful carnival food, but we're back in our podcast studio. We've got some more on-location episodes coming in the future, but we're back in our podcast studio, and we have Kenyetta Hairston-Bridges from Tampa Downtown Partnership, the president and CEO. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Bryan, and thank you, Molly, for having me today. We're excited to be here.
Absolutely.
We have a big festival coming up on March 14th at Curtis Dixon Park. River Green kind of celebrates St. Patrick's Day. It's a big festival that we have here in Tampa Bay, and a sea of many festivals that we have at this time of year. And just wondering, from your perspective, how would you describe this to a visitor who's coming for the first time?
Oh, this is an event that's it's really exciting. It's really a vibrant event. We're celebrating the 14th year of River Green in Tampa's downtown. This is one of our signature events where we color the Hillsborough River, that brilliant shade of Kelly green. It's iconic. It's seen across the country on TVs. But more than just the coloring of the river, it's a festival, as you said. It's a celebration of the community, where the community comes downtown, residents as well as visitors come and enjoy it. There's food. There's the Rough Riders Parade. There's a pet costume contest. So there's a little something for everyone at the River Green, and we're excited that it takes place right here in Tampa's downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. The parade.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that parade. Like, where does it go? Where does it stop? How long does it last? Is it part of the the dyeing the river green?
Yeah, the parade typically takes place after the coloring. I know you said dyeing, but we want to be specific to say coloring of the river green.
Okay.
It typically takes place a little bit after that. The parade takes place around 2 p.m.
Yeah.
and it starts in downtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we say coloring the river.
Yes.
What does that entail? Because we always see those. We see the boats, the time lapse videos where the boat comes in, and you think there's like color going into the river, and you can kind of see it mixing in. But like, what is the process for that? Because it's fascinating to me how that happens.
Well, it's a process that happens very, very quickly, right? It's a professionally applied product that's used across the country. So other cities have done this in their communities as well, but it's a professionally applied process. It's an environmentally friendly or environmentally sustainable product that's used in other processes. This product is also used in medical procedures.
Okay.
It's used in the testing of drinking water pipes. So it's used in other processes, but it's done in a very controlled and coordinated approach. We partner closely with the Tampa Police Department, the City of Tampa, our community partners, and it's done in a very controlled environment. And the process tends to run with the flow of the water. So you'll start to see the color start to take its form as the water continues to flow, and then it disperses within a few hours. So it's really temporary, but it's really a visual that people across the country really love to see.
Absolutely. And you close off the river during that process where they are coloring the river?
Yeah, the river is closed off the boat traffic during that process, yeah.
And then is there a boat? Like, how is it actually applied to the water?
Yeah, so the water there's someone that's on the boat that sends a signal to someone that's not on the boat, that's near the land. They kind of go through this process where I'm not going to say push a button, but they put the color into the river, and then it starts to take shape.
Yeah. And it pretty much transforms automatically.
Oh, yeah. It transforms very quickly.
It gets
within minutes.
Very vibrant.
Yeah.
Like the color is very bright.
Within minutes, it's a bright shade of Kelly green. Yeah.
And then it lasts throughout the duration of the festival, yeah?
Yeah, it lasts for a few hours.
But like by that night, it'll be gone. The river will be back to the normal color.
Yeah, it'll be back to its normal state within a few hours.
Yeah.
And it really depends on the flow of the water at that time.
Yeah.
So what's the route of the coloring? Like, do you start at like Armature Works or like Rick's by the River?
We
and then
start
like
at Curtis Hickson Park.
Okay.
We start down at
Okay.
Curtis Hickson Park.
So like kind of
Yeah.
right where all of the celebrations
Yeah.
really are taking place.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And do you have to like consult tide charts and things like that to see like, is the tide coming in? Is it out?
Nah.
Like as far as you're talking about the way the
I mean-
river's flowing, I wonder if like if that goes into the process of it at all.
It's probably too much for us to think about in the terms of the process. We don't look at tide charts.
Yeah.
It does flow with the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one of the main things that, you know, you always see people when you see visuals of this or on social media, there's always someone that, you know, they're wondering, is it safe for the environment? And you had mentioned it before that it was environmentally sound and safe. So all of the marine life that's in the river, they're protected and it doesn't do, you know, any kind of harm to them.
Yeah. You know, this event has been going on for 14 years now, and safety and environmental responsibility is our number one priority.
Yeah.
And so the coloring is a non-toxic product. It's biodegradable and it meets EPA standards. And like I mentioned before, you know, this is the same product that's used in some medical procedures.
Yeah.
So if it's good enough for them to use it for eye surgeries, and or if it's good enough to use for the testing of drinking water pipes, we feel very confident that it's safe for the marine life as well.
I mean, if it's in our bodies, then it should be good for anything, right?
Exactly. And then the Environmental Protection Commission of Hillsborough County, they approve it for short-term use. So we're pretty confident that it's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, you remember the movie The Fugitive?
Yeah,
With
I do.
Harrison Ford, they had,
yeah.
you know, they showed the scenes from their St. Patrick's Day celebration, and they dyed or colored the river green. And I think they made a joke about it, like, why can they dye it blue the rest of the other 364 days of the year? But like, it seems like I always remember that being a Chicago thing. Is there anywhere else do you know of in the country where they do this other than like Chicago and obviously Tampa now too? I've never really seen this really done in too many other places.
I have not. I know we're the only and the largest city in Florida that colors our river green. And I do know that it's done in Chicago, but I'm not familiar with other cities across the country that do it. But I know there are other cities that do it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a unique draw for the destination because it is so great to have the sun shining and blue skies and this fun component of a green river and all of the other components that are taking place at the festival. I mean, this little, what you said, a pet costume competition?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. That's really fun.
Well, before I go there, I do want to say that while Chicago does this same coloring of their river, we like to pride ourselves on having the sunniest St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, I like
you
that.
mentioned
I
the
do
sunshine.
like that.
Absolutely.
And with over 230 days of sunshine in Florida, we can claim that name as the happiest, sunniest St. Patrick's Day parade around.
Yeah, because when you see Chicago, it's always like backdrop by a gray sky or, you know, steel skyscrapers. And you have the vibrancy of the river, but you don't really have it from the rest of the environment. Where here, you've got the blue sky, you've got the sun, like everything is vibrant in Tampa. And this just kind of adds to that whole environment.
Yeah, it does. And when you speak about the pet costume contest, right?
That's super fun.
So that's one of the traditions of the event. So we have a couple of traditional things that take place, such as the pet costume contest brought to you by the Barrymore Hotel. We have line dancing, we have music, the support of our local vendors, and we have the Rough Riders Parade. But this year, we have some new elements.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that we're
Do tell.
really, really excited about. We have a kids market that's going to be ran by kids. And these are kid-run businesses that will be there,
That's
right?
so much fun.
Yeah, and I want to say, if I get it right, the Wee Waddles Shamrock Shops is the name. Yeah, so we're
So
super
cute.
excited about
So
that.
cute.
Yeah. We also have a new exclusive experience this year that's brought to you by the Downtown Crawlers, where you'll have access and really good views to the stage performances. We have a headliner that's coming this year, Shane Byrne. Shane is a Irish singer and songwriter, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We have some new things that are in store this year.
That's awesome.
And we have the Irish Color Guard that's brought to you by it's brought to you by the Rough Riders. Yeah.
Oh, great.
And that's new this year.
So will that be taking place before or after the parade or like all day?
Yeah, now I'll have to get the timing for
Okay,
that. And
okay.
our team will tell me the exact time for the color guard to go
Gotcha.
on. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is kind of an all afternoon kind of celebration. So what time would you suggest people arriving so they can see the river, they can see the parade, they can kind of take part in all of these activities?
You know what? I would say get there early. Get there early about 9 a.m. Get you a spot because it gets pretty crowded.
Yeah.
And if you want to be along the waterfront so that you can actually see and not from a distance, I say get there about at least 9:30 to get your spot going.
Yeah. What time do they start coloring the river?
We're going to start about 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Nice. Grab your coffee, grab your breakfast.
Grab your coffee.
Go sit in Curtis Hickson Park.
Enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, enjoy the sunshine. Get outside.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time of year to do it. It's beautiful right now.
And get there early. Last year was my first year. And I got there pretty early, and I was like, why are we getting here so early? But when I saw the massive crowds that come in, it's tens of thousands of people that come downtown, both residents and visitors that come for River of Green. So that's why I say you want to get there early.
The Riverwalk is packed.
Yes.
Like you can't even see the ground of the Riverwalk because everyone's just piling on top of each other trying to see this green river. And it's really, really cool.
It is.
It's a nice little experience for everyone in the community to come together and kind of culminating downtown.
And it's a great way to come downtown, spend a day with your family because it's a family friendly event. Like I said, it's really energetic, lively. It's really uniquely Tampa. So Tampa,
it really is.
But it's also a way to support our small businesses and support the local vendors. Right. One of the main things we want to see is we want to drive economic impact to our small business community and our restaurants and our retailers in downtown. So this is that perfect opportunity to do that, and just for families and friends to enjoy Curtis Hickson Waterfront Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people do you usually bring in to this? How many will attend this festival, and how many are you expecting this year?
We're expecting between. I want to say that typically we're at tens of thousands. So the numbers have been around a little over 10,000, but we're expecting between 10 and maybe 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you have an event of this magnitude, like how long do you have to plan something like this? Is this in the ongoing procedure where like throughout the year you're planning this event?
Yeah, so the event is taking place on March the 14th. By that Monday,
the planning
will be started again for next year.
Well, I would imagine it's pretty fresh in your mind at that point where you can kind of see, okay, this is where we did things right. This is where we did things that we can improve upon. So while it's fresh, you kind of want to get those ideas down.
Yeah, and our team, and especially Ivy Lubko, who leads this, she does a phenomenal job. But that planning will start that Monday. She has to work with the different sponsors. She has to work with the Tampa Police Department on logistics, work with our community partners, source entertainers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a true process that takes over a year to pull together. And then you get this phenomenal, one-of-a-kind event that we all have come to enjoy. That's River of Green.
Yeah, it really has ingrained itself kind of in the fabric of what Tampa is. I feel like you said this is the 14th year, I moved 14th. Here, in 2005, and obviously this event wasn't going on at that time. And I think, the first time it happened, you kind of heard inklings, they're going to dye or color the river, and you kind of see it, but you're not there. And then you go and you experience what this is like. And
it's really cool.
This is a big, gathering for all of Tampa to come together and just have another celebration, just like a Gasparilla or anything like that.
Yeah, it's more than just a parade. It's more than just coloring of the river. It's a community moment, right? River Green is really a moment for the community to come together. And like you said, when you experienced it, you thought it was something spectacular, right?
Right.
And that's how I felt. I've lived in Michigan pretty much all my life. I've never been to Chicago's coloring of their river.
Right.
And so my first time experiencing it was here, and it was just a sight to see. It was really a sight to see. It was so vibrant. The green was so vibrant. Yeah. The community was alive, and it was just a good experience. And it was really warm and hot that day.
Yeah. It's definitely how do I want to put this? It kind of sparks like a childhood wonder of like oh my goodness, like the river's green, like that's so cool. And like you're just so fascinated by it. Like it's kind of like a childlike excitement, but it's so much fun and I look forward to it every year. I think it's a really great event.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Yeah, but what other events do you have going on throughout the year that Downtown Partnership puts
Yeah,
on?
so in addition to that, what's next what will be coming up in the timeline of events is Boom by the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the centennial celebration, and this year, so it's going to be bigger and better than ever before.
Ooh, okay.
So look forward to that. Mark your calendars for that.
Definitely will. July 4th.
Yes,
Yep.
July the 4th.
Awesome.
And then our other signature event that many have come to know us for is Winter Village, right? And that's where we bring ice skating to Tampa's downtown outside. Yeah. So that comes in November. It kicks off right before Thanksgiving, and it runs through January the 2nd.
Yeah, usually like November 21st or 22nd to kind of like January 4th and to the 5th.
You know all of the events.
I do. I used to work at Winter Village. So
okay. You know all of the events.
I do know all of the events.
Yeah, Visit Tampa Bay. We have a booth there where we sell some of our merchandise and allow people to kind of see some of the kind of the homegrown products that we curate.
Yeah, you did.
Which is also great because we can be an information point for people as well. Because, I mean, our visitor center isn't far away, but when people are just kind of foot traffic on the Riverwalk, it's fantastic for people to be stopping by because they are really fascinated by it. I mean, it's an ice skating rink in the middle of Florida outside.
And they have snow.
Right. Like, it's the fake snow. Like, it's really interesting. There's shops, there's food. Like, it's very eye-catching. So a lot of people come over and are really curious of what's happening. And we kind of get to explain what, all of this is going on, and then also just more things to kind of get into and explore in Tampa, and the pirate water taxi, and the streetcar, and it's just kind of like a nice little communication.
And you guys have been such a great partner, and just the impact that you guys have on downtown, and with the conventions and everything that Tampa Bay that you guys are doing from Visit Tampa Bay is just awesome.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate when you put together great festivals like this
Yes,
one
we
coming
do.
up that help bring in those visitors and get people to the Riverwalk and to see these great areas that we have in Tampa if they've maybe never been there before.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to River Green on the 14th. Like I said, we've been hosting that for 14 years now. It's brought to you by Grow Financial.
Okay.
And so we're really looking forward to it and hope that both of you come out and join us that day.
Yeah, definitely will.
Definitely
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you personally, though, real quick, because you are a native Michigander. You're from Detroit.
Yeah.
You worked in Detroit and their downtown for almost 20 years. You went to Central Michigan. I did a little.
Oh, wow.
If you can't tell, I did a little bio background
digging there, didn't you?
who you are. But
yeah,
you've been here since summer of 24. You came here and took over Tampa Downtown Partnership. Like, what brought you here? What brought you away from Detroit, your home city, to come down here to Tampa and then this opportunity that was here?
Yeah, so the opportunity presented itself. And I had been to Tampa a couple of times. And the Tampa that I saw the couple of times I came was not the Tampa that I experienced when I came back to really vet this opportunity that came before me. And when I came back that time, I seen that there was a significant investment that was made in the infrastructure.
Yeah.
The Riverwalk, the waterfront, the Riverwalk. There was a significant investment made there. There was a significant amount of development that had taken place in downtown Tampa. And I thought this was a unique opportunity to be a part of something that was really changing the landscape for this city, and to be a part of something that's very transformational.
Yeah.
And I like to pride my career on being a part of transformational growth. And that's what we did in Detroit for the past 20 years. It was hard work, but it was very transformational.
I mean, any parallels between like what you were able to do in Detroit and maybe what you're seeing here in Tampa?
Yeah, I think when you think about the cities in terms of size and scale, they're both similar. A lot of people don't realize that. I think, with Tampa, we're about 20,000 residents. In Detroit, we were at about 690. So it's not too far off. And we were going through this transformative period where our development was taking place through the redevelopment of historic buildings, where Tampa's development was more of a clean slate, and it was new ground up development that was occurring. So the development that was occurring in both cities were a little different, but the revitalization and the overall intent of just kind of transforming the city was quite similar.
Yeah. I mean, like I mentioned before, I moved here in 2005. I think at that time you came to downtown Tampa anytime after 5 p.m. and it was empty. People left work, and then downtown just kind of, they rolled up the sidewalks and it just kind of shut down. And now, like, you come downtown if you're here for a Lightning game, if you come down just to get a bite to eat at a restaurant, whatever you're doing, like people are coming to downtown, people are staying, people are living here where they didn't live here before. So it's got to be rewarding to kind of see that progress and how a city can transform itself.
And Detroit had similar characteristics back before, I think 2009. Same thing happened. People just came downtown to go to work and they went home, and there was no nightlife. There was not a lot of residential activity, but Detroit too, just like Tampa, had a champion. Right, our champion here in Tampa was Jeff Finnick, and in Detroit it was Dan Gilbert. So there was a lot of parallels that took place, and Dan Gilbert was the champion to lead the growth in Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you look at Tampa, like, what is your vision for Tampa, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Like, where do you see kind of the progress that we've made now? Like, where do you see that headed in the future?
Yeah, I continue to see that growth continuing to occur, where you have this densely populated downtown, where downtown is not looked at as a business district, it's looked at as a as a residential district. And within that residential district, you have all of the necessities that you may need. So you don't have to go outside of downtown to do any of your grocery shopping, which you don't, because we have a lot of grocery stores, but you got retail in downtown, you got groceries in downtown, you have cleaners in downtown, you have a hardware in downtown. A full service neighborhood is what we like to see, that's infused with culture and arts, because when you think about the culture and you think about the arts, that's where it draws a lot of talent to the region and to the area, right? And so I'm looking for full service neighborhoods in downtown with talent and people and vibrancy.
And you've kind of got that now.
Yeah,
like
we're
you're on
there.
The cusp of that, right?
Yeah.
And you just got to continue to move that forward and build on that.
Yeah. But I think one of the most important things for our downtown is to make sure that there's connectivity between downtown and the rest of the region. A seamless form of connectivity that can bring people into downtown easily, and they can get out of downtown easily, because Tampa, we've been kind of like a victim of our own growth here. We have a lot of traffic on the roads here. And so now we got to look at how do we move people around quickly and seamlessly through our city.
You're seeing some of that too with the Riverwalk expansion, with that coming up, with the going to the west side of the river now and kind of exploring, that side of Tampa, the West Tampa, and kind of opening that up for some of this development as well.
Yeah, and the proposed extension of the streetcar, right?
Yeah,
so you're starting to see that.
Definitely.
But we do have to continue to think regional, right? How do we get people into downtown from the region very seamlessly?
Yeah.
So we talked about how downtown's going to be super packed the day of River O Green. Get there early. We kind of talked about that a little bit, but how should people plan to get around downtown during River O Green? Should they more plan to walk? I know you guys have Dash as a transportation system.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to walk our downtown. We have a pretty walkable downtown, but I do refer that, patrons or visitors really look at the City of Tampa's website for all the road closures. And you mentioned Dash. Dash is our sustainable microtransit program that traverses across our 7 downtown neighborhoods and is a viable option to get around downtown that day. And it's only $2 per person. And
That's really great.
Yeah, and you'll be in air conditioned, right?
Yeah.
So you'll get a nice air conditioned vehicle.
Yep.
It's our bright yellow Teslas. They're hard to miss. So that is a viable way to get around downtown. And then from a parking standpoint, we would recommend parking at the Fort Brooke Garage because of the road closures near Curtis Hickson Park, near the Poe Garage. You want to kind of get yourself a little bit away from that so that you can get around a little better.
Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely.
Little tips and tricks to kind of navigate your morning.
Yeah. But I think
thank
walking is always a good option as well.
It is.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful downtown.
Yeah.
But, for all the folks kind of coming from other neighborhoods outside of downtown core. So park in Fort Brooke.
Yeah, get early, park in Fort Brooke,
and
walk
Dash.
around and explore.
Take Dash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Any new festivals kind of percolating in the pipeline? Anything that ideas or anything definitive that you can talk about that might be happening with Tampa Downtown Partnership?
We're looking at some new activations and some new programming. Our team is being very thoughtful and intentional about how we activate and how we continue to activate downtown. And so we're continued to activate through arts and culture and and vibrancy efforts, festivals and events. But one of the things that we notice that we need to be a little bit more thoughtful on, and we're really thinking about new programming around, is the kids, and looking at what could a summer program look like for the youth, and that's in early stages right now, so we can't really talk about it.
Right.
But that is something that
it's an idea that you
No, it's definitely a great opportunity,
Yeah.
especially with the Glacier Children's Museum right in Curtis Hickson,
Yes.
and like the Tampa History Museum. Like we have really great attractions in downtown to be forming some type of program like that.
Yeah,
so I think
and-
it's a really great opportunity. I'm glad you guys are thinking of, the younger audience of
Yeah.
Tampa.
and even when you think about the Rumpello School, right? And
yes,
how do
exactly.
we
The
partner with
elementary
the
schools
Yeah,
are right in
yeah,
downtown. So yeah, that's awesome.
So that's what we're thinking about right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the kids market that you're having
Yes.
at River Green
definitely.
just kind of ties into the whole thing.
Yeah.
What
Right.
like the kids are running the market? Like how's that
Yeah, the
going to
kids
work?
Yeah.
are running the market, and the kids
their
have
businesses.
kids own businesses. That's their businesses.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking lemonade stands or
No,
you
like
know,
some of them make wallets out of
Yeah.
duct tape. Some of them have jewelry businesses. Some of them make candles with their parents. Like honestly, like there's a lot of
Yeah.
little entrepreneurial kids, and they're fantastic.
yeah, we got kidpreneurs. That's what we call them, the kidpreneur.
kidpreneur. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm the father of a 3-year-old and I have a 5-month-old. So for me, that's
So
probably going to be like the most exciting thing for me to go see is like how this runs, like visioning my 3-year-old in the future, maybe
get them
having her
ready.
own little
Mhm.
business.
yeah,
Yeah.
and get her
Like,
ready.
look, this is what you could do in,
Yeah.
in a couple years.
Yeah,
That's right.
sure. What's
That's
up?
right. Yeah.
All right. River Green, March
March the
14th, Saturday. Get there early,
Get there
9:30
Yep.
or so you get your
Yes.
spot up close to the river so you can see it being colored green. And then throughout the day, you're going to have the kids market, the
Yes. The
Pet
parade.
costume
contest, the parade. There's
Yeah.
just a whole wealth of activities that are going on that day
Yeah.
in downtown.
It is.
Thank
It
you
is.
so much for being here and for promoting this and for creating these special events that kind of bring Tampa together.
Well, again, thank you for having us here today and having me. This event preceded us. This was conceived under a former mayoral administration,
Mhm.
but it has worked wonders for Tampa's downtown.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see how this continues to evolve and other events that you guys are able to put
Yeah.
together and how those evolve as well, because they're always so well done and we appreciate
Thank
those
you.
efforts.
Thank you for that.
All right. Kenyetta, thank you so much for joining us here
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Thank you.
And that's it for another episode of Unlocking Tampa Bay. Join us next time as we unlock more treasures around Tampa Bay.